Hey y'all, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the Common Threads Loom. If you're not there already, you can find the step-by-step instructions and the template for this loom for free on commonthreadsloom.com. So I'm going to be showing you how to make all three versions of the loom, and we're going to start out with the cardboard version of the loom. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to make a loom that people would be able to use and make no matter what materials they had on hand. And so the first version of this loom is made from an upcycled piece of cardboard. I think it's a box that one of our mattresses came in, and so it's pretty sturdy cardboard. What I'm doing now is I am cutting out squares, and the squares are 10 by 10 squares of cardboard, and I am just using a yardstick to divide the piece of cardboard roughly into well, not roughly, but into 10 by 10 squares. And I have an X-Acto knife, well, not X-Acto knife, actually a box cutter, and I am just going through and scoring the cardboard so that I could bend it and cut it in half. At this point, I realized that if I don't want to mess up my the piece that I used for my cover or my background, then I need to put it on a cutting board. So that's what that cutting board came from. So this is pretty thick, pretty sturdy cardboard, and as you see, I have to go through it a couple of times before I can go all the way through. It actually works out, as you'll see as this video progresses, that the cardboard kind of works sort of like wood. I don't have to glue the pegs when I use cardboard, but you'll see that in a minute. So it only takes two pieces of this particular type of cardboard to make a base. It's thick enough so that that pin, and that's what I'm showing you, the pin is not going to go all the way through two pieces of cardboard. You want to use enough pieces, usually two or three are enough, so that you're not being poked by the pin, and that it's thick enough so that the pins are going to go in there, the push pins are going to go in there securely. So I'm just using some tacky glue to put the two pieces of cardboard together. I'll put a good little bit down, and I'll put it down, and I'll turn a different way so that it covers more of the area of the cardboard. And those pieces of wood, I'm just using them to put a little weight on it so that they'll dry flat. You don't want a base that is bowed, you want everything to be good and flat. So that's a piece that had been drying for a little while, and I am going to use that to make the base for this loom. What that is packing tape, and it's like a it's kind of a tape that you would use in packing. I got this from the Dollar Tree, so it was only $1 for that roll, and I will get a lot of looms out of that one roll of tape. And it's pretty wide. It's wider than masking tape. It's kind of like, you know, the clear tape or whatever you use to close the box. But what I like about it is that I can use it to finish the edge off. So the edge looks, you know, really nice and neat. Even though we're making a loom from upcycled materials, I believe that, you know, you can make something that you can take pride in using, and, you know, something that could foreseeably have come from some store. I mean, there's a lot of loom manufacturers that sell cardboard looms, so hey, you know, why not make it as nice as we can? So anyway, that is the template. Like I said, if you're not already there on the website, you can go to commonthreadsloom.com and download that template for free, and it's actually free. There is no email wall. There is a link to a Facebook group if you want to join and hang out with this, what I hope to be a growing community of other people using this loom. But yeah, this is truly, you know, open for whosoever will. So yes, I'd love it to be able to keep in contact with you, but it is there. You can just go download the pattern. So anyway, what I'm doing here is I am using the template to know where to place my pegs, or my push pins. So you see that there's a pattern going on there, and that is purposeful. The pattern allows us to be able to weave in the push pin style, or not the push pin, but the pin loom style of weaving. Think zoom loom, weave that. You can weave super fast. I'll be doing a lot of videos showing you how to weave in the different ways that you can weave with this loom. But I'm pretty much just going and following the template. I mean, I don't really have to follow the template, I kind of know it in my head, but it's there for you so you'll know where you're supposed to be putting the pins. And when you have downloaded the template, you'll see that there are just plain dots, and then there are dots with circles in it. So the dots that have circles in it, that's where you're going to put the black pins. The dots that don't have circles, that's where you're going to put the clear pins. And so I add a little pin to use to secure my thread, and that one is done. Last but not least, that is the little logo that goes on the loom. Since this is a free loom, the way that you can help me and pay it forward is just to put the logo on the loom if you make one. That way people know where they can go and get one and make one themselves, and we can, grow this community. I feel like in order for us to really grow weaving, we have to put out some tools that allow more people to be able just to try it without having to feel any sense of, like indebtedness or that they need to do anything more so than like make something. I mean, I guess you do have to make the thing, but it's not that hard to make, as you can see. And here we go again. This is another cardboard loom. This one, it doesn't have brown on both sides. So you're going to see in a minute that I am going to use some upcycled brown paper grocery bag to cover up that part that you're seeing right there. And again, I'm using that packing tape to clean the edges up to make it look really nice and neat. We have Aldi's in our city, and so I like to get deals, so I shop there a lot, and I buy the bag so I can put my groceries in, because I don't always remember to bring my own grocery bag. And so I thought that part right there that says 100% recycled was pretty cool, and so that's what I'm going to put on the back of the loom. And so I'm just going to use some stick glue just to put that down and secure it there. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my template again. And you can reuse these templates. I just happened to cut the last one to cut the logo off, but I think I will be reusing this one throughout the video. So what you see I'm doing now is I'm just pressing or marking where the pins are supposed to go, and just going around just pressing a little bit in just so I can see the little holes where they're supposed to go. The reason why I do this is that one, I don't want to have to pull that paper off when I'm done, and two, I just think it looks a little bit nicer just to put the pins directly into the board as opposed to gluing a bunch of layers of paper on top. If you want to, you can totally glue the template onto your base and just put it straight in there, but yeah, I didn't. As you can see, I'm cutting from a bigger page that has logos on it, so if you want to make this loom and like do a class, like if you get inspired by some of the things that I'm making and you want to do something in your community, feel free. I have a sheet, when you download the loom, you'll get, in addition to the template and the instructions, you will get a sheet of logos that you can use to make as many looms as you want to. And I'm pretty generous with what you can do with the looms. So go check out the pattern. You can see all that there. So here you see I'm doing a foam core version of the loom. And the foam core is just some ready board that you can get from the Dollar Tree or Walmart. But for this one, I'm using the scrapbooking paper, the 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper, to cover the foam core. I didn't have to do that, but I figure, the spirit behind this loom is to create something that it can be for lots of people, that they can make it in the way that makes them happy. You're creating your tool that you're going to use. And so I thought it would be fun to give you some examples of some looms with some fun, I'm using fun a lot, aren't I? Some looms that are using the scrapbooky kind of paper. And now what you see, what I'm doing now, okay, it's moving super fast, so you really can't see what I'm doing, but I'm using Gorilla Glue to secure the pins in there. You can use tacky glue or whatever, but I put down the pattern and then I go back and pick up each individual pin, poke the pin into the little nozzle of the Gorilla Glue, and then put it back into the board. The reason why I do this is that unlike the cardboard, the pegboard, you can really move the pins around, and you might weave on it one time, and if you don't really glue them in there, they will start to make the holes kind of big and they won't hold in place as nicely. and so you can't use your loom for so long. But if you just use a little bit of glue, then you can make something that will last for a good little while. So that is an extra step, but I find that it's worthwhile. And there is that one. And last but not least, this is the wooden version of the loom. And if you don't decide not to stain it, this actually may be the quicker version to do. Well, I guess you kind of sort of need power tools in order to cut it into squares, but this is just a 10 by 1. I think it's like 10 by 1 by 6 that I got from Lowe's, and my husband cut it into squares for me. It's actually a little less than 10 inches because you know that when you get wood from the hardware store, it's a little bit narrower than what they advertise just because of when they finish it. I will say this, that the wood, you can run into problems because of the fact that sometimes the wood has knots in them, and so you're going to need some extra pins because you sometimes will break the pin trying to get it into the wood, especially if it has a knot. I don't know if you caught that right there, but I had to use wire nose pliers to get a pin out, and sometimes you have to do that when you're working with wood. And so that is pretty much it. I'm almost done that. I've put the logo there, and it is good to go. So there you have it, the Common Threads Loom. You can find it at commonthreadsloom.com. Go ahead and go get one and make one for yourself. I have some really cool things coming down the pike for you.